in your careers?
That's something I hadn't really thought about. For me, it's just been, how can we get better in those practices before Christmas? How can we go home Christmas, enjoy time with the family, get to be a little kid for a little bit, and then how can we come back, get to come here to New Orleans and play in an awesome bowl game and go and compete and try to win this game.
So you haven't thought about your future at all?
No, that's not something that we've really kind of dug down into yet. Haven't really made a decision, and we'll figure something out afterwards. But right now, I'm focused on the football game.
What's this process been like with so many guys you're used to having on the football field, not here with you in New Orleans?
I think it says a lot about the guys who are here, who are ready to step up, to the challenge and ready to go in and compete. I think it's an awesome opportunity for those guys to show what they've been working on all season. These guys, just because they haven't been playing as much doesn't mean they didn't work as hard. So they're here. They've been putting in work. They deserve it, and they deserve this opportunity.
You look on the offensive line. What's it can be like with those big guys up front taking their talents to the NFL?
Yeah, I think for those guys, Andrew and Isaiah. Wish them nothing but the best. That's an awesome opportunity for them, and we wish them luck, and hope everything happens, their way. But for the guys who are here, Cade and Jamari, I think they're ready. They've played a lot of football. It's not something they haven't been in. They've been in. They've played in big time situations, so they're ready. Cade's going to play a little bit different position. I think he's ready, and Jamari, he's ready for his opportunity as well.
You take pride in the SEC going out and dominating like they did yesterday, or you just like LSU enough not to put pride in that?
It says a lot about our conference and how strong our conference is, and just the competition level. We pride ourselves, week in and week out that this is a really strong, really tough conference, and I think it just says a lot about our conference.
Jake, who are some of the guys in the receiving corps? You've had, I guess, 11 bowl practices. Just how much time and how comfortable have you gotten with what you've got now? I guess Kirby said it's been kind of a merry-go-round in receiving.
Yeah, I think this is has allowed a lot of guys to get a lot of reps. And some guys who have really progressed, during this time. I think George just continues to get better and better, and he keeps showing how he's just going to be a big-time football player, and we're excited for him and ready to hope he has a really big breakout game this game.
Put into perspective just the George that walks through the door versus the George that's now getting ready to play in the Sugar Bowl. How far this guy's come this season?
He's come a long way. He's a really good football player, and with like a little kid mindset, sometimes. He keeps you young. He really does. He's a great guy to have, on the team, in the locker room, and on the field with you. So, it's a pleasure to go play with him. He makes it fun, and that's what you like. You want guys on your team who love football, and he loves football.
Jake, have you got your NFL grade back yet?
That's something that me and my parents have kind of looked about, and we'll kind of talk about after the game.
So that's a yes, no, or maybe?
Yes, we've gotten it back, but we're going to really talk about it after the game.
Jake, what do you see from that Baylor defensive line? They have a lot of sacks this year.
Yeah, they play relentless. Those guys, they just keep coming. They're really good football players, but they really play relentless. They play for 4 quarters, and they just feel like they always keep coming. They're really high motors, and they're just going to play tough.
Also, their defense has forced a lot of turnovers. How key will that be to kind of keep that?
Yeah, protecting the ball is always a really huge kind of goal for us. For us, how can we protect the football? And score points. That's what the offense wants to do. We want to protect the ball and score points. But for us, it's a really big part of it. Not turn the ball over, and I think it's been a kind of a huge key to our success. And if we can take care of the ball, I think we'll be successful.
Not to give away the game's plan, Jake, but after watching Trevor and Joe and Justin, any motivation to pull it down a little more? We saw you do that a little bit more the second half of the season, but a lot of quarterback run in the postseason so far.
Absolutely. That's kind of part of where the game's going. And with my feet, I'm ready to go. Let's go play football and be a football player.
Jake, I just walked up. You probably already answered. Where are you with the NFL decision? Have you got your feedback from the committee?
Yeah, that's something that we really hadn't thought about. Me and my family are going to talk about after this football game and kind of go from there. Right now, we're focused on this football game.
Did you get a grade already?
Yeah, we got a grade, but we're going to really talk about it, discuss it after the game.
Does your mentality change with the different, the whole left tackle blind side thing? Just with Cade versus an Andrew, how does it change or affect you back in your pocket or your timing or your awareness?
For us, it's about going to play football. You know, if I'm focused on who's there, who's not there, then I can't do my job. You know, I gotta trust the guys who are in there to do their job. You know, and Cade, he's perfectly ready to do that job. You know, he can handle it. We're excited for him, and everybody in that locker room is ready for him to go play well. Especially me.
Coley said Jake's still Jake. He hasn't changed. But is this season taking a toll on you mentally?
It's a football season. You know, football seasons are always tough. There's a lot of highs and lows in football season, but you love football, you love this team, love this university, and I couldn't ask for a better spot.
Is it always hard to say the right things, Jake? I mean, you maintain your poise on the field, but with us as well, we've thrown a lot of difficult. How do you maintain that composure? I mean, there's a lot of times there's probably been explanations you'd like to share, but you don't.
For me, I kind of have kind of strength in knowing that Christ, He's not going to put me in any position that I can't handle. So for me, it's I know I'm prepared. I'm well armored for anything I walk into, and this isn't any different. And I'm ready to go compete. With this. How can I be better during an interview than I was last week? It's amazing how it really is. But I know He's not going to put me in anything I can't handle, and I'm always going to be ready for it.
You feel extra motivation, having played in this game recently and lost this game. Does that provide any more motivation being back a year later?
For us, the narrative last year was that after the game you could clearly see that people would say that a lot of people didn't want to be here. And for us, this is an awesome opportunity to play in a big-time bowl, and we don't want to be out-hit and out-hustled. We want to compete. The guys in this locker room, we're competitors, and we want to compete. So that's what we're kind of putting, kind of on our backs, so to speak. And we're ready to go and compete and play for 4 quarters.
Is that almost the positive about some of these backups getting an opportunity? They're not going to be in there,
yeah,
not excited.
They want to play great too, and everybody wants to play great. So. That's the kind of the battle, and the key is how can we all go play great together.
Jake, as you evaluate your season, the body of work, obviously the production is down statistically. When you look at it, when you watch film, what do you see when you evaluate yourself?
I see a lot of things were so close. There's a lot. Football's a game of inches, and the kind of inches were everywhere. It's so close here, so close with my feet. As an offense, we were so close to scoring so many more points, and that's just the kind of the way it goes, where the ball falls sometimes, and you just kind of have to pick up your things and move on to the next game. Eventually the ball's going to roll your way, and things will be a lot better.
Coley put a lot on when he was asked about whether he said you didn't regress, your stats regressed. You put basically all of it on the receivers, the turnover there. Do you agree with that, or do you think you could have done things?
I agree that football is a team sport. There's a lot of different things that go into a football team and a football program, and there's so many things that go on. For me, there's obviously some things that I wish I could have done better, and I think it's just part of it. It's part of being on a football team. There's so many different things, so many different factors that go into it, and it's entirely difficult to put an answer on one thing. It's never one thing. It's a lot of different factors coming together, and that's just what makes football special is it being a team sport.
If you do return, you will still have new receivers next year. Lawrence, obviously, tight ends. Can you look at anything and say, I should have done this a little bit better to acclimate them, to get a better rapport?
For sure. That you're always going to have, there's always going to be some turnover. But yes, like you said, there's going to be new receivers, as well. And that's kind of part of the battle. How can we get those guys ready, get those guys ready to play mentally, physically? How can we catch balls with them? How can we get on rhythm? I think rhythm's a big key, a big thing that's not really talked about as much. And, finding that rhythm early in the season and staying on it, that'll be definitely one thing that we'd like to do.
Have you made an NFL decision in your mind or at all?
No, sir. I'm playing this football game, and I'm here to win this football game.
Is there a decision to be made after the bowl?
Me and my family will talk about it and kind of see where we're at. But right now, I'm here focused on this football.
They signed a pretty highly rated group of wide receivers in this class in December. I don't know, have you familiarized with yourself with some of those guys in terms of have you watched any of their film?
There's a lot of really good talent there. And, they went out and the coaches did their best to recruit the best to come here and play football for us.
Does that excite you at all?
No, yeah, absolutely. Anytime you get really talented players on your football team, you're excited, especially at wideout.
What did you picked up on film? Lynch was named, All-American, Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 12. What is it specifically about him that stands out?
Plays tough, plays physical, runs around and, plays, wide open, and anytime, you get a defense, especially a player, but an entire defense playing tough, playing physical, it's really hard to beat.
Last game with Charlie as a teammate, you guys obviously been really tight for a while. What is it about you two guys? You seem kind of like two pieces of the pie. It seems like our relationships has maybe really added something to the college experience.
Yeah, Charlie's been there for me, with me from the beginning. We've been roommates from the very beginning, and man, Charlie's a great guy. Loves the Lord, and I wouldn't want anyone kind of helping me, kind of leading me in this whole college process. And man, Charlie's been great. A really great teammate, but even a better friend.
The offensive line, obviously, Andrew Thomas is a projected top 5 pick for a reason. Are you on any level fearful for your health, not having him? And, obviously there's going to be some new guys at both tackles and in guard at least.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, Andrew's a really good player, and, he will be missed, for sure. But I think, Cade and Jamari, they're ready. This is an opportunity that they've been working for, their whole lives, and I think they're ready. They've put in the work. They deserve it, and I'm excited to go out and watch them play.
Baylor leads the country in turnovers gained at 30 this season. How important is it to protect the football?
Yeah, as an offense, any game you go into, you want to protect the ball and you want to score points. That's what we want to do. We want to protect the ball, and I think that's kind of been a big key to our success. In games we don't turn the ball over, we do really well. So we want to protect the football.
When you get your draft assessment, how detailed is it, and was it anything like what you might have expected before seeing it?
That's not something really kind of focused on right now. Right now we're focused on the football game and how can I go out and beat Baylor.
You see,
in terms of your relationship, take me through, in terms of hunting and fishing
Yeah.
together. I mean, because I don't know how many guys there on the team that you sort of had that connection between, but what is a typical, fishing out? I remember reading the Sports Illustrated article.
Yeah. It can look 100 different ways. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. But it usually starts with a bunch of guys saying, hey, let's go fishing. We get on a big boat, we go out, we fish, and usually, I'm the guy catching the most fish. But it's fun. It's not always about the fishing. It's the times, the last spent together, and really enjoying God's creation. And it makes it fun. There's me, Charlie, Ben, Cade. I know I'm probably leaving a couple guys out, but believe it or not, Jordan Davis, he loves to fish, and really kind of get him hooked on it. And it's fun to kind of bring new guys into it. And get to kind of see their kind of love, and you just kind of light a fire, and it's fun to kind of see them get going with it as well.
Is that sort of almost a ritual of sort of bringing the guys into the fold when they first get the invitation to join you guys on a fishing trip? It seems like maybe a big moment for a new guy coming in.
Yeah, kind of definitely. When you kind of bring a new guy, you get to kind of see them kind of out of their element a little bit, or it could be their element, depending, but. It's fun. It's kind of a team bonding as well. We don't look at it that way. We look at more of as we're friendship. We're building relationships, and really just trying to lead them to the Lord any way we can.
How did you get Jordan to fish? I mean, did he approach you, or you're like, come on, big Alex?
Jordan, I remember kind of setting up the trip to go fishing, and Jordan shows up with his own pole. Jordan's a big guy. He shows up with like a shark fishing pole. I mean, the thing's ginormous. But I think the first time we went fishing. He didn't catch anything. I don't think I caught anything. Monty Rice, he caught 2 or 3. Malik Cannon caught 2 or 3. JR went with us as well. He didn't fish. He just wanted to shoot the AR the whole time. But man, it was an awesome experience, man. It was so fun. And, you got to kind of see guys out of their element, have fun with each other, and get to fish, and just be outdoors. Yeah.
When you see, LSU and what they've done in their offense this year, they're kind of as far as style goes, what if, or how do they keep doing that? Y'all go through time. that that offense you ever study or anything? What they're doing?
I tell you that what they're doing special. They have something special going on there, and they're playing at a really high level. They have a lot of guys playing at a really high level at the same time, and that's what makes them special. And they're clicking, and let's see where it goes for them. Let's see where it goes. They're going to play really well right now.
Hey Jake, Baylor forced 30 takeaways this year. What have you just kind of seen on their defense and what you got to look out for?
I mean, when you have guys flying around, flying to the ball, flying around, and really just constantly ripping at it, playing really tough, playing really physical, you'll get a lot of takeaways. So for us, it's about protecting the ball, staying high, tight in the front. For me, making really good decisions, and the kind of two main goals of the offense is protect the football and score a lot of points. So that's what we want to do. We want to do it well.
How much is this game going where you say this is a strong finish for the year after some downtimes? How important would that be?
Yeah, it'd be huge to finish well. It was something we didn't do last year, and I think a lot of guys have kind of taken kind of a real heart to it, this year to go out and finish well, and we want to. It's a big part of this program, for us to go out and compete. We want to say that's what is the backbone of this program. Is competing in the competitive nature, and so let's go out hit and out hustle.
Jake, can you tell the difference, like with the team? Like if we were to think back to a year ago.
Yeah, if we think back to a year ago, for sure, I think the practices have been better. Back at home and on the bowl side, so we're ready. I think the new guys, or not the new guys, but the guys who are going to get their opportunity. I think they're ready. They have the mindset and they want to go play great. So let's go do it.
How much of last year was that disappointment? So close in the SEC championship last year. How much did that factor in?
Yeah, it was tough. I think it kind of hit everybody, but you got to put things in perspective. We're playing here, playing football, and this is an incredible bowl, and I'm really thankful to be here and to have this opportunity to go out and play well.
Coach Fuller talked about the injuries kind of hurting things this year. How big of a factor when you look back at your top guy, occasionally goes down, and other factors, how much does that play?
Injuries are always tough, and I really hate it, for Cager because he just never quite could, really stay healthy, and it's tough. Anytime you get that, kind of going on for you in your season, it's tough. Really hate it for him, and because Cager, he's a great guy, great teammate, and then he's a great football player, and he was really helping this football team, and really just hit it for him, not being able to stay healthy.
How comfortable were you with him? Because it always seems that you find somebody that you click with.
Yeah.
Were y'all really clicking there?
Yeah, we put a lot of work in together this summer, and I think it showed, over the course of the season, of that extra work, those couple extra hours that you put in. I think it definitely showed there throughout the season.
What's the first question Carson asked you when you got there?
Carson, he's got a locker next to me. And I don't know. He just he really didn't ask me any questions. He just kind of showed up, went to practice.
So nothing.
No, not that I remember at the moment. No, sir.
What will y'all decide? Yes or no? Do you know? I know you've been asking a lot. But Jake, honestly, it's a question that I think people have been wondering for a long time.
For the kind of the mindset has been, how can we get better at practice? After the SC championship, how can we get better then? How can we go home for Christmas, enjoy being a little kid for a moment, and time for family? And then how can we get better to go beat Baylor? And right now I'm focused on going to beat Baylor. And afterwards we'll figure something out.
What was your favorite little kid moment at Christmas? What is Santa? Do you still do Santa?
Yeah, Santa Claus definitely still shows up, which is great. But for me and my family, the best kind of little kid moment is going over to my aunt and uncle's house, getting to watch kind of my little cousins open up their presents. It's just fun. Kind of brings you back. I have a little cousin, Brewer, and she's the most adorable thing in the world. And getting to watch her open up a Barbie playhouse, or oh, it's awesome. No, I didn't help put it together, and it was already put together. Santa Claus already put it together. Yeah.
Jake, I was watching some of that QB1 for the first time with you in it, and I know you had talked down about Deshaun Watson's records. You wanted to beat them in high school. Are you a guy, knowing if you came back to Georgia, you'd have a chance to leave a lasting legacy beyond what you've already done?
Yeah, that's something leaving a legacy is huge, and for me, how can I best impact this university and this state, in the best way? For me, I want to leave a legacy of, being one of the best Christ leaders to ever kind of walk through those doors. And hopefully I can do that to the best of my abilities.
Are you have an important decision to make. Are you taking a look at the landscape? Your former teammate Jacob Eason already made his decision. Obviously, any quarterback that declares impacts you and how teams view you in the pecking order. Does all that factor into what you're looking at?
I think that's getting into a lot more than I've thought about it.
Really?
For me, it's been about, hey, how can I really beat Baylor? How can I get better during these practices, and how can we beat Baylor? That's what I've been focusing on.
How can you beat Baylor with the defensive line they have and the losses you've suffered on the offensive line?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough battle, and I think it's going to be a battle that we're ready for. Our guys are ready. Coach Luke, he's done an incredible job of getting the guys going, and it's been fun having him at practice. I think it's an opportunity for those guys, and everybody wants to show up and do well.
What about Swift? He's here. Some other guys that are possible first-round draft picks aren't here. Thomas. What do you make of kind of he might not play, but he's here trying to, I guess, enjoy the week with you guys?
I think it says a lot about him and his character, and how much this team means to him. Having him here and wanting to do everything he can. For what he can do, that's owing to his injury, and you can ask him about that. But I think it says a lot, about him and his character, for him to want to be here and be with us. He loves this football team, and we really thank him for being here.
How about Zamir White? He might be a feature back next year, or I guess they're bringing in Kendall Milton as well. But this game, he's going to have an opportunity to get more carries than usual. What do you make of his evolution this year as he's gotten more?
You can't say enough about our running backs. I feel like they just keep showing up, and for me, when I look left and right and try to figure out who's there, a lot of times it doesn't really matter, and just the talent level that all these guys have, and I think for Samir, and for James, two guys who really get their opportunity and their shot, and I think they're ready for it. This is going to kind of propel them in next year.
Do you ever look at the film of guys coming in? Have you looked at it over the last 3 years?
Some, yeah.
Do you ever say wow about guys?
Definitely said that about Cager and some of the kind of catches he had, there in Miami. As far as the kind of the high schoolers go, I hadn't watched as much of them. For me, I've been in my own world, trying to figure out how I can make myself better and make this team better.
Did you get any good Christmas gifts?
I got a lot of clothes. I got this really cool hunting jacket, and let's see. Yeah, a lot of clothes.
Jake, you mentioned a second ago about doing things to get better. Everything mechanically as far as your play goes, you still want
for us, we've been looking throughout this kind of past 2 weeks, a lot on feet. How can we get quicker? How can we develop a better base? And how can we get better feet through progressions 3 and 4? So we've been kind of just really working on that and getting better with our feet.
How much tougher is it during the season, week to really kind of work on those type of things? Because you're busy preparing for the next opponent.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a lot on your body. It's you start. Throughout the season, you kind of work less on fundamentals and you start working more on scheme, and that's part of the battle of what you put the work and the time into. And for us, I think, I know for me personally, I got away from a little bit of the fundamentals and worked probably a little too much on scheme, and it kind of hurt my feet, I think, later in parts of the game.
Are you healthy throughout the year?
There's been a lot of consternation among the fan base about the offense, the scheme, the system. When they see LSU doing what it does, Alabama doing what it does. Mm-hmm. Is there anything to tell people about? Were you all running the system that you all wanted to run? Were you limited by anything?
For me, I believe in the scheme, and we're the number 5 team in the country, so for me, obviously the goal is to always be the best, but I'm thankful to be here. And some things it is what it is, but for me, I'm thankful to be here. And I think we have really good guys, and I think we have really good coaches. So I think for that, I'm just thankful to be here and ready to go play football.
How would you describe this scheme?
How would I describe it? I think you have. I would say you kind of have a pro style scheme with a lot of different RPOs and a lot about kind of space, getting guys in space. And I think we have a really physical offensive line. I think we try to put a lot into the offensive line and right behind them.
Is it fair to say that you kind of come out, you look at, Coley talks about players, not plays, and y'all had an offense geared around a big, strong offensive line, good tailbacks, some uncertainty at receivers, so you come out kind of gearing towards that, and then you get to the SEC championship game and you do try to open it up, but that's kind of changing approach, so it's hard to do that on the fly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's always kind of tough and always kind of the kind of battle of trying to do things a little bit different. But we've I mean, you're exactly right. Trying to open it up. We had plenty of opportunities in that game to kind of stay in it. But eventually we just kind of wore on us, and we just couldn't last as long as they couldn't score as fast. And, that's part of it. It's part of playing football.
Say that Swift's here. I mean, we don't know if he's a go. He's got the shoulder, but it would have been easy for him to just go train and not put himself in the spotlight. But the fact that DeAndre's here, what does that mean?
Yeah, I said it earlier, but that says a lot about his character. A lot about how much he loves this football team, and for him to be here, whether he can go or not, that's up to his injury. But I know he wanted to be here from the beginning, and because he loves this team, he loves these guys on this team, and he really cares about us.
Jake, did you have a quiet time during when you left campus or before you got here, where you could reflect on some important decisions you have to make in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, went out, got to hunt a lot, got to go home and spend time with family. So those are always kind of great kind of times to find a little bit of peace and quiet, and really just kind of put things in perspective.
Thank you.
I just asked about the I haven't heard a whole lot about them. I mean, they're a great defense. What makes them such a great, effective defense?
I mean, they play really hard. These guys, they have 11 guys running the football all the time, and they don't have a whole lot of bust. They're coached really well, and they really know what they're doing. And for me, I'd rather have it that way than bust everywhere. But I mean, they play really tough, really relentless, and they're always running the football.
Could you compare them to any teams you played this year? Is anybody somewhat similar, or are they zone, man team?
I would probably say Kentucky. Kentucky, they play really tough and really physical as well. That was a really tough game in the rain, and there's an opportunity for us to kind of try some new things. But they did play really tough and really physical.
When I say 47%, that's over the last 5 games. I know what student of the game you are.
Mm-hmm.
Does that just chap you? Does it tick you off? I mean, what is it? What are your thoughts on it? Because your thing has always been accuracy, percentage. Get putting the ball where it needs to be.
Yeah, that's definitely not where I want it to be. But that's part of playing football. There's definitely things we need to get better at, and how can we get better at those things. That's what we've been trying to do the last 2 weeks. And, that's definitely not where I want to be. You're exactly right, and how we can get better on that is something we've been trying to do the last 2 weeks, and ready to go in this football game and try to change that.
Did you watch those games last night?
Yes.
What were your thoughts on yesterday's games? Knowing you guys could have been in the middle of it.
I think those are 4 really good football teams going out and playing and doing really well. But it's time to kind of bring it back, and how can we go turn on some Baylor film and get ready to play this football game?
The role you guys are in. I mean, yeah, technically you're favorites, but let's face it, there's a lot of guys missing, and not many people expecting Georgia to show up after what happened last year. Has it kind of put a chip back on the shoulder? You've been the heavy and the favorite for so long. It seems like this is kind of a different role for you guys here.
I think it definitely kind of puts things back into perspective for us, and kind of gives us that little chip on our shoulder. And I think there's a lot of guys in the locker room who are ready to have their opportunity to go out and play well.
Can you say, from a hypothetical standpoint, if you were a top 5 projected draft pick, that you would not play, or would you play anyway, knowing how much you mean to this team? You know what I mean?
For me, I'm not in that position, but
if you were,
yeah, hypothetically speaking, if I were, I love this football team. I love this university. For me, I think I would definitely play. But that position, I'm hypothetically speaking, and I'm not in that position at all. But I love this university. I love this football team, and it'd be an opportunity for me to play one last time with my brothers.
What's the importance of ending the season on a winning note after last year losing 2 straight to go into this year?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
What's the importance of winning a game going into the offseason after losing 2 straight going into last offseason?
Yeah, it kind of gives you a little momentum going back into the offseason. Gives guys a little bit of kind of pep in their step, kind of feeling good, and guys who played well. Give them the confidence they need to go out to the offseason to be able to lead and to be able to go out and play really well.
When you were growing up, how big were bowl games? And do you think that college football playoff Final Four has changed, the outlook in the future in terms of guys playing or not?
I think when you're kind of growing up, as a little kid, you really don't kind of understand, kind of how all the bowl games work. But now that I'm here, I think all bowl games really have their importance and are really special in their own way. It gives guys an opportunity to go out and see a different city they've never been into. It's kind of a football vacation, as I was kind of explaining it on the phone last night. But it's fun. It's fun, and you get to kind of spend time with your teammates and really get to kind of mingle and do a lot of things you wouldn't normally do. And thankful to be here and have this opportunity.
Jake, do you have a bottom line in terms of do you need a first-round grade from those that are informed to say, hey, I'm ready to go, or do you have a standard that you're looking for?
That's something that we'll talk about later and kind of work on. Right now, I'm focused on this football game.
Good luck. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.